Hi, I'm Elizabeth at the Radford Public Library with a little bit about what's new at the library. And we have two new things here for you. One is the DVD Love Actually. It is not a new movie. I think it came out in 2004 perhaps. But it is newly purchased here because we didn't have available copies of this movie, and it's usually really popular around this time of year. I have friends that like to watch this movie every year at this time. So Love Actually was a blockbuster hit. It starred Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Laura Linney, Emma Thompson. I know I'm forgetting all kinds of people. You can see the cover. It's from the creators of Notting Hill and the Bridget Jones Diary movies. And it is a romantic comedy, and it's described as a breathtaking tour of love's delightful twists and turns. And it has a score on IMDb, so the International Movie Database. It has a score of 7.6, so it did quite well, and it may or may not have staying power with you. If you've never seen it, it might be fun for you to see. Now, I will say that it's rated R for, let's see, sexuality, nudity, and language, so be prepared. But one of the reasons I wanted to mention this movie, not only because of the popularity of it and the time of year and how it's actually seen as a wonderful Christmas movie, but also because it is one of the movies, one of the 22, I think, movies that is reviewed in this new book by Lindy West. And you can see the title of this new book is A Take on the Title of This Movie. The subtitle of this book is The Definitive 100% Objective Guide to Modern Cinema. And Lindy West is a columnist for the New York Times. She's written for GQ and also for Jezebel. And she did at one point in her career early on review movies professionally. And so this book contains 22 reviews of very popular movies. They are iconic. They were blockbusters when they came out. Most of them came out in the 90s. Some of those titles include Twilight, Face Off, Top Gun, The Fugitive, Love Actually, Forrest Gump, The Notebook, Shawshank Redemption. So all kinds of genres there, just a wide variety of genres from romance to action. I hadn't seen all of the movies, but definitely most of them. And this one was one that I had seen in the theater when it came out, and I had to rewatch it after reading this book, which obviously she felt quite strongly about this movie, given the title of her book. And it really was eye-opening to read her review and see this movie again. I saw it in an entirely different light. I think one of the things that reading her book asked of me is, what are your favorite movies that are maybe your guilty pleasures? What are movies that maybe you loved at one point that if you were to rewatch wouldn't have the staying power, or you would see them so differently? And then what are those movies that you're always going to love and want to watch? So another movie that she reviews in this book is the movie Reality Bites. And that was a movie I had seen in the 90s several times and usually watch every year. I have friends who love Shawshank Redemption and watch it every year. So I think it's kind of a riot to read her book. I definitely laughed out loud. Her humor can be a little crude at times, which didn't bother me, but you might want to keep that in mind. Also, if you mind the title, it might not be a book for you. This movie is rated R. I think I mentioned that already. So it definitely, she's reviewing many movies that are rated R. So whether or not that's something that interests you, take that into consideration. But I thought the book was a fantastic romp, really entertaining, thought-provoking, quite an interesting commentary on the movies that we love, whether or not they're actual terrible movies, that we're going to have fun watching them anyway. She does rank all the movies on a scale of 1 to 10 DVDs, 0 to 10 DVDs of The Fugitive, because The Fugitive is one of her favorite movies that she believes has staying power. And Love Actually got 0 DVDs of The Fugitive, so that one clearly she was not a fan of. Most of them she was not a fan of. In fact, as I recall, it was only The Fugitive that kept a really high score. So that's what I have for you at the Radford Public Library. We have this new DVD of Love Actually if you want to try it or watch it again. We have this new nonfiction book by Lindy West that is a review of about 22 blockbuster movies, mostly made in the 90s. And those are here for you at the Radford Public Library if you'd like to check them out. We've also ordered all the movies that were available that are mentioned in this book in case you want to do the same thing and watch the movie and read the review of the book. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you're staying safe and well and keeping entertained and finding opportunities to laugh. We will get back in touch with you about what else is new at the Radford Public Library. Till then, please stay safe and well, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you for listening.